everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. You know what? We're getting to be the... hello, Annette. Good to see you. Charlie, good to see you. We're getting to be like the size of the Walton family. You know what I mean? You start saying hi to everyone in the morning, and you'll be here. Quiet girl, glad that you're here. Tim, always a pleasure, man. Valerie, Charlie Murphy, full of hope. Quiet girl. Let's see, who did I miss? Anybody? If I did, I apologize. Celebrating 1690, the Battle of Boyne. I'm praying that there will be no sectarian violence. I will pray for that too. Full of hope. I'm feeling fantastic. That's how I'm feeling. I really am. I'm feeling like $1,000,000. So, hello, Allison. That right there is because I agree wildly with the request of full of hope. We don't need any more violence in this world, especially for things that have happened in the past. Quiet Squidward. Do we have somebody here named Quiet Squidward? New Zealand Chili Head. Good to see you. All right, peeps. So, I'm gonna tell you a story I like. So, well, before we get rolling, let me tell you something, man. I'm sure you've all seen heat lightning in your time. I'll tell you something. There is nowhere I've ever seen heat lightning like takes place in this state. Oh, inside joke from the live last week. Awesome. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, and I know the one of which you speak. It's the one that didn't go and you were all there forever. I actually heard somebody tell me that story now. In hindsight, I apologize. You see heat lightning in other places, and it kind of just lights up the sky. Heat lightning here leaves the big, cool-looking lightning bolts that you see on the cover of your science book back in high school, if you remember what I'm talking about. But just amazing to look at. So freaking cool to look at. And I got up last night because Squirrel decided it's midnight in New Zealand. It is about 4 minutes after the hour of 5, I think. Or it might be a little bit earlier than that because I think I might have started a little bit early. Yeah, I did. I started a little bit early. Goddess Divine, good morning. Good to see you. So I told you people, I don't do the deep dive stuff or didn't do the deep dive stuff for analytics and things like that here on the boat for a hot minute. And it's just one of those things that, you can get lost in. And I'd rather just kind of have a relationship with the people who are on the boat and let the chips fall where they may, kind of a thing. And which I think works better in the long run. However, because of the fact that the boat is growing and it's more fun to stop in when the when the news is good, right? It's something I think we all do in everything that we do. There's a little of that goes on. And I was looking back at the last week, and this is cool. Hello, Kathy. Good to see you. It's good to be home. So before I get rolling, I wanted to say thank you to Full of Hope. Just before I lose this train of thought, when I got here this morning, 5 minutes before the boat went live, Squirrel was jumping up and down, Tim, and chasing me all over the place. Before the show went live this morning, at about 5 minutes till, I was playing with Squirrel and taking care of things. So I came back, I sat down, and put my coffee up and everything else. And I looked, and the message that I've highlighted was on the board. And just a very simple, everyone okay? Not, hey, how you doing? Not things that you're really, really accustomed to seeing. Everybody okay? It put a lump right there in my throat. It really did. I spent about an hour last night trying to talk about the lifeboat, and I think that right there sums up the entire thing. If you saw the thumbnail, it says something along the lines of "Choose your family wisely. Rick Smith, great to see you. And I'll tell you something, peeps. It's a fantastic piece of advice. I was looking at analytics, and about 1,000 unique individuals last week were on the lifeboat watching videos, and which is pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. It also means that those people watch on average of 4 to 5 of these things on a weekly basis, which again is really, really great stuff. It's one of those things that gets you excited. So I don't go deep down the analytics hole, but the other one that really blew me away was the amount of people who shared content here on the lifeboat to somewhere else. Absolutely amazing. And I started to track by the week all of this different information was that I'm doing it weekly instead of any other way. And it really gives you some insight to things like the number of comments are going up, up, up. Like if you watch it on a graph, it's just almost straight up. So I want to thank all of you again, those of you leaving comments and those of you sharing content from the lifeboat. It's another one of the reasons that the channel is growing. People saying, hey, you should check out this channel is the best way to build a base. And I don't mean the fastest. I don't mean any of that crap, but I mean to build a solid group of individuals who are spending time together, a family, like a legit family. That's the best way to do it. Nice, slow, and I mean, if we're inviting people onto the lifeboat, we're bringing people on that we think probably are in the same mind frame, the same state of mind as most people here. Doesn't mean we all agree on the same things, because that crap doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't. This kind of thing was actually very normal, air quotes, normal back in the day. And what I mean is, there was a time where family was family. You can go to a barbecue with people who had completely different beliefs on virtually everything, right? Pick the top 10 things that you could come down on one side or the other of. I won't get into all of them. I'm not gonna cause fights, but all of the big ones. All of the big ones. I'll throw one out there for grins, right? The Second Amendment, that kind of thing, where people come down on one side or another, or political party affiliation. It's to the point now where people aren't talking to one another over things like ball clubs, ball teams, right? Your football team and my football team, we don't get along, like the kind of insanity that we're seeing right now that's dividing the entire world in half is leaving a lot of people really struggling, right? Leaving a lot of people in a really bad way. And the sad thing is, most of them don't think that that's the case. These people would all rather surround themselves with people who agree with absolutely everything they do, right? It gets to the point where if you don't agree wholeheartedly with what I agree with, it's not enough to disagree. I need to hate you. I need to hate you. I need to be cruel to you. This is what's going on in the world. And you know what? It doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen here at all. And it gets you wondering, why is it so different? Hey, there she is. Why is it so different? Because it does not happen here. We have people of every faith, every religion, every ethnicity. Wow. Every ethnicity. None of it matters. Story time with Uncle Bill. Good to see you. 2 things matter on the lifeboat, right? 2 things matter on the lifeboat. That you want to get sober, or you're thinking about getting sober, and that we care for one another. Yesterday, I said that, it doesn't matter if you got 35 years of sobriety or you've got, 1 day of sobriety. We're all in the same boat, and we all go at this thing 1 day at a time. And I thought about it right after I got off the lifeboat. It also doesn't matter if you're high. It also doesn't matter if you're loaded. If you're coming here because the prospect of not getting loaded appeals to you, the prospect of Scoob, good to see you, the prospect of living a better life without drugs and alcohol appeals to you enough to show up here. Dennis Brace, I'm glad you're here. Rick Smith, same way. Tim, everybody, good to see you. If I missed you, it's nothing personal. I'm just trying to keep a thread going in my head. And these days, that's a little bit more difficult than it used to be. Truthfully and honestly, that's a little bit more difficult than it used to be. So with all of these people that are, on the lifeboat, people send me emails, people send me text messages, and with 1,000 of you last week, watching videos here, if a small percentage of that decide to send an email, I talk to a lot of people, and sometimes I talk to people that aren't crew members on the boat, and sometimes I talk to people that don't really want to have anything to do with the boat. It's just part of how running this kind of a YouTube channel goes. And I got an email from somebody, and at first, I started chuckling, and then the more I read it, the more that it stopped. It stopped being funny. Kind of started to get poignant, I guess. But this individual wanted me to do the magic wand thing, and he wanted me to take the 1,014 or 20 or whatever we're at videos, right? Over 1,000 videos and live streams and shorts and all that. You take all of that and boil it down to one piece of advice and give it to me if you could. And I get it. The reason is that, when I was wanting to get sober, I wanted the bullet train method, right? Is there a pill I can take that will just, completely realign my life, and I wouldn't have to worry about any of this and worry about putting any of this crap together? Now, sobriety is a lifelong journey. It's one of those things that you got to put the time in, and you got to dedicate yourself to in a way that is unique, I think, in this life journey that we're on. Sobriety is one of those things that takes so much friggin' dedication. It really does. And it requires a restructuring of the life in a lot of ways. It's not a bad thing either. That's a really good thing. But telling somebody that on their first day of sobriety is, it's more of a tall order. It really is. It's kind of a tough thing. But he would like me to boil down all of this into one sentence. Thank you very much, New Zealand Chili. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. And it's good to see you back, man. It's such a cliche in other types of rehabilitation, but that keep coming back thing, it really is one of the most important, if not the most important part of getting clean. So you could think, well, maybe Tommy gave that piece of advice to the cat that said, could you boil this down, right, to one sentence or one small piece of advice? What is the most important thing? What is that one thing that if you can just impart this on me today, then I'm set, man. I'm going to be able to get through all of this. There she is. I just need that little piece of advice. So I went to and started reading the rest of my emails. Buddha, bud, good to see you. I went and started reading the rest of my emails because as far as I was concerned, that wasn't possible. Right? Boiling all of that down into here you go and be blessed. You're set. Now go be sober and, drink no more or snort no more or whatever. Because in all honesty, this cat didn't even go into, hey, this is my drug of choice. This is how long I've been doing it. None of that. Do me a favor and just give me that one thing that I need to know if I'm going to stay sober. I mean, it's a legit question if you're interviewing somebody. But if you really want to get sober, that's a terrible question. It really is. It's not a terrible question. It's just that this is not one of those fast food kind of a situations where you can just drive through the drive-through and say, I would like a little bit of sobriety with a side order of happiness, and could you supersize it? It doesn't, quite simply, it does not work that way at all. So as I'm sitting and I'm reading this thing, and I'm reading all the other emails, and I'm reading all of the things that people are saying on the boat, and not every email is hey, I'm in trouble, I'm thinking of getting high. A lot of the emails are people telling you stories about individuals they're helping get sober and people in their lives who are no longer what they used to be because of the whole sobriety thing. And it's exciting as hell. It really is. It's a drug. So by the time I get to the last one of those, I'm pretty hopped up on the whole lifeboat thing. And I go back to the question from the person who's not a crew member on the lifeboat and would like me to pare down this into one piece of advice. So the piece of advice was this. You want that one piece of advice that's going to help you get sober, then I would choose my family wisely. That's what I would do. And I haven't heard back from the cat yet. And I don't know how often he watches. I don't know if he watches, for all I know, he's watched one, or somebody told him about me and he doesn't want to watch one. You know, that's a legit chance too. It really is. But either way, I can hear the person going, well, you can choose your friends, you can't choose your family. But the truth of the matter is, and we talk about this on the boat all the time, that's BS. You absolutely can choose your family. And for instance, got a furry four-legged daughter. Like this is an animal that is wildly important to me and absolutely takes on characteristics far greater than that of a feline. You know what I mean? Very big part of my life, and really, well, an important part of the boat too. But every person on this channel has an opportunity to create a family that was the one they dreamed about. We would all love brothers and sisters that we can count on in a pinch. We would all love the ability to call someone at whatever time of day. If we're in one of those situations where we feel like we might make a mistake, or we're really struggling to stay sober, but it's 3:00 in the morning, right? You don't necessarily call a friend at 3:00 in the morning and tell them that something's going on in your life. I mean, a lot of times for a lot of people, calls that happen after 9 or 10 o'clock at night is usually really bad news. You know, especially if you're sober. You know, if you're in the life, there, you know, but when you're sober, it's one of those. She's destroying things. It's a situation where getting a phone call at 3:00 in the morning can be a little bit scary, right? Family will take a phone call at any time of day, no matter what's going on, drop what they're doing. There have been, I don't know how many shows. There are, I knew that was coming. Thanks, squirrel. There are lifeboat historians that are better at keeping track of this stuff than I am personally. But I think there have been about 4 or 5 shows that we canceled, like right in the middle of the show. Something was said in the comment section. Something happened that made us nervous and made it very obvious that the person having problems at that point was more important than whatever we were talking about on the lifeboat. And that's what family does. So early on, one of the cliches that we started using around here was, you know, they tell you that you can't, you know, choose your family. And we say, of course you can. Of course you can. We don't necessarily define family here as people who share the same blood, people who share the same DNA, people who were born of the same mother. And if you had told me 2 years ago today, if you had told me 2 years ago today that this is where the crew of this vessel would be, if you had told me 2 years ago today that I was going to be calling it the lifeboat, I probably would have been surprised. But I certainly didn't see the family thing coming. Sometimes you have to choose a family that is good for you when you stop letting them stay in your head. You know, Annette, it really is an opportunity to fix things that for a lot of people, this is one of the biggest stumbling blocks in the world for so many people who are on drugs and so many people who are struggling with anything else. Kelly Gerlin, good to see you. It doesn't matter whether it's drugs or whatever it is, but people who are struggling, you know, especially in addiction. I've cut family off. I understand. And you know what, Annette and everyone else, the family is a driving force in the addiction of a absolute crap ton of people. In fact, I don't know if there's a number out there that somebody's researched this, but it's got to be 50% at a minimum. It's probably closer to 90. Family issues from our past, things that happened in our past that drive us into this lifestyle and make it very difficult to get out of this lifestyle. if you have the disease of addiction and you find yourself running from something through the use of chemicals, you're going to become addicted. That's really what it comes down to. And if you apply that to, do I have any baggage from my family that I'm struggling with? Holy hell, who doesn't? Right? And I mean, I have a great family. Everybody's got baggage with them. I have a brother who doesn't understand, and he knows my past trauma. You know what? And that I would replace that brother, right? I would replace that brother. And I might replace that brother with 10 or 12 of my choosing. Scoob, that is hard. Scoob says, I'm about to do it with my mother, meaning cut her out. If she keeps trying to justify my sister's behavior. Right? Scooby, that's really, really hard. That really, really is hard, Scoob. However, again, it's tough, but you can replace any family member if you create your own, if you build your own family. And there are people here, Scoob, who already think of you as theirs. Like it would be bad form. I can't say things out loud that people sent me in emails unless they tell me that I can. But I know of women on this boat who have sent me emails about you and you alone, and like a mom, that were just worried about you, caring about you, asking questions about you, asking what if you're all right, telling me they're praying for you. It really is a unique thing to have a family that gives a crap and a family of your choosing. And are they always going to live up to the ideals of the lifeboat? No. I don't always live up to the ideals of the lifeboat. In fact, I rarely live up to the ideals of the lifeboat, but I stay sober. The thing here, people, is that we're pretty big on forgiveness. But if somebody in your circle on the lifeboat does something that bums you out so bad that they no longer feel like family. In the past, we've had people who say, you know what, I'm leaving. I don't get along with so-and-so. Well, then quit talking to so-and-so. My brother's a lifelong addict. He's 62. He knows he can come to me for anything but money or a place to live. I'll feed him, clothe him, take him to rehab, talk to him, love him, but that's it. Kelly, I get it. And you know what, people? That right there is an example of what tough love is, right? He can come to me for anything, but I'm not going to give him dope, and I can't give him a place to live. I'm not going to give him money that he's going to buy booze with. You need some clothing, you need some this, you need some that. That's the kind of tough love that with the tough love I don't like is I'm never talking to you again until you get sober. That kills people. Or people who say to 16 and 17-year-old kids, you got to leave my house. You're not going to be under my roof if you're using drugs. You know what? Grow a pair and say, you're going to stay under my damn roof and you're not going to do drugs. Sorry. But that's kids. Once you get past that, all bets are off. I had to cut loose several people in the last couple of years. You know what? Sometimes you got to cut loose people. Sometimes you got to cut loose family. But this sobriety journey, this from start to finish thing that we're trying to do, right? Start is the moment of clarity, like Full Hope was saying yesterday. And I kept coming back to this in my dome because it's just freaking excellent. If you missed the live feed last night, Full of Hope said in a comment, I don't count my sobriety date as as my last relapse. The last time I used. She counts her sobriety date as the day she realized that, I have to quit this. And from that point started the journey. Because if on January 1st, 2023, you said, man, I don't want to do this anymore. And it takes you 3 years of attending meetings and meeting with people and relapsing and writing down in your journal why you think you relapsed and really learning who you are. Man, it took me 3 decades. It took me 3 decades to piss my life down the toilet and end up in a federal prison. Right? Destroy a couple of marriages, all of the things that I did. Right? That took me 3 friggin' decades. But I want to fix all that in about 6 days. I'll give you a week. If we could do this by next Wednesday, and if you could boil that down to one piece of advice, one small piece of advice, the small piece of advice would be to choose your family wisely. Well, where do you find a family? You don't find a family in a lot of places. There are people who find them in churches. There are people who find them on the lifeboat, right? There are so many different ways that you can meet people who are all trying to be on the same page. I quit the day my daughter told me she hates me when I drink. That was my last day. Annette, that is heavy. Did you hear that, people? I'll tell you what, though, Annette, what a juxtaposition of how you treated your family versus how a family member treated you, because that's absolutely beautiful. Squirrel, don't think of it. Hey, knock that off. I got really expensive blinds and she was about to shred them, and I would absolutely lose my mind on that kitty. But seriously, Annette, what a beautiful thing. Her daughter says, I hate you when I drink. She says, that's it. That's it. That's the kind of love everyone in the world wants from their family. And you know what? We are going to do everything within our power on the lifeboat to live up to that. Are we going to let one another down from time to time? Absolutely. We're human beings. We are going to allow. I cut my dad out this year, says Coburn. Coburn, I can't imagine just how difficult that had to be. I really can't. That had to be a very, very difficult thing. And you know what? I'm going to put you in my thoughts and prayers, because that is rugged. Once I was mostly sober. Codependence Anonymous has helped a lot to address underlying problems. Long way to go still. You know what? The understanding that there is a way to go, period, right? I have to get from here to there. That's 3/4 of the journey. So you have a long way to go, but that long way is the smallest part of this journey. As crazy as that sounds, the biggest part of all of this thing, in whether it's codependence, whether it's addiction, whatever it is, the most important part is when you go, just like, in fact, perfect example right now. Full of Hope says, so Tommy, that makes my sobriety 30 years in August. It's been a journey, but life is a journey. It's when Christ stepped in that I began to have access. There's that life-changing moment. And at that point, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. Now, doesn't mean you're going to have success from the word go. But the moment that you say, I am done being an addict, that's when the journey starts. And that's why and this is so much smarter. Honestly, I wish Full of Hope had said this 2 years ago and that I had heard it, because this is really, I think this is a mantra that probably ought to reverberate through the boat all the time. Really, I think that this is that big. And the reason I say that is, how many times have you heard somebody, even here, right? And I've done it. We've all done it. I'm at 100 days sober. Really? Yeah, I'm at 100 days sober. Then you stumble, right? And you say, oh man, I'm back to day one. Bullshit. You're not. You're absolutely not back to day one. And sometimes it's even more bizarre. I got 7 years sobriety. I had 2 beers last night. I don't know what I was thinking. I had a couple of beers and then I said, I'm not doing it anymore. Now I'm at day one. No, you're not. No, you're not. All that you've learned and all that is part of the journey. It's like Full of Hope says. It's part of the journey. And if you view it that way, then a relapse shouldn't kick the ever-loving crap out of you, should it? Man, that's good stuff. And it reinforces exactly what I'm talking about right now. You go this sobriety journey on your own, right? You go it on your own. You go without a family. And this is the kind of things that we miss out on. And this is why group therapy is so huge. I've done 1,000 hours or more on this boat talking about sobriety. But that is going to become a part of the fabric of the lifeboat, I assure you, for the rest of the time that I do this. I want people to start thinking of their sobriety dates from the day they commit. We're not going to be successful. We're not always going to be successful on the first attempt. But it's like, this is the job, right? This is the job. The job is to stay sober. Imagine if you had to get a new job every single time you did something wrong, right? Every time you screw up at work, that's it. You're gone. Go. No, go. Leave your name tag, your hairnet. You're gone. Got to go get another job. Right. That day, I got to go and I'm starting over. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're on the exact same damn journey that you are. Man, I love that. I absolutely love that. I really do. Sorry, people. People have cut me loose for legit reasons, things I did during my addiction, and not so legit reasons. It's been so difficult to find a new family. Well, we're glad that you did, Valerie. We are glad that you did. And I'll tell you something. I know exactly how you feel. I really do. I know exactly how you feel. And I think it's one of the reasons that when I started putting videos up, I think it's one of the reasons that the lifeboat didn't feel like the lifeboat until we went live. There was interaction through comments, and a lot of people were emailing me, and I was getting phone calls, and I was starting to get to know a small group of the boat, and it was cool. It was. But when we went live and the feedback was as fast as we're doing it now, it was night and day. And I came to realize so a little lifeboat history 101. We shut the lifeboat down for about 30 days, I think. Again, there's probably a lifeboat historian that could tell you better. Hey, what do you say? You having fun? I know. I'm sure there's a lifeboat historian that could do a much better job of telling you, like exactly to the day how long we had taken off for. But I think it was in the ballpark of a month, 5 weeks, something like that. And what we came to realize, both my bobbleheaded partner and myself came to realize, is that this is our family. And yeah, we didn't have to come up with all of this with the videos. We didn't have to, to always be looking for new subjects and not answering emails and not taking calls. And boy, we had a lot more time on our hands, to do what we were doing in life. We had the ability to work and do whatever we wanted, but we weren't very happy. And what it really came down to is, just like Valerie said, a lot of people have cut us out of our lives for legit reasons. Man, the vast majority of people that cut me out of their life did it for a legit reason, one way or another. The vast majority of people that have cut me out of their life, absolutely, I had it coming. And what's left of the people that I didn't run off, the vast majority of which I got high with, right? And they're either dead or they're still getting high, which, doesn't mean I won't talk to them, but it certainly means I won't hang out with them. It is beautiful to find a new family, Valerie. We're so glad that you're here. We really are. We are so glad that you're here. Hey, ZW. Good to see you. Sorry, peeps. Just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Boy, you know what? That full of hope thing from last night, man, that really, honestly, that one rattled around the inside of my dome a lot. Wow, I joined the army to be done with drugs or alcohol many years ago. Basic training started my cold turkey. Good Lord. Nearly everyone relapses sometimes. Stand up the next day and keep going. Amen. New Zealand Chili Head says, that's the best advice I've heard in a long, long time. You, my friend, have found a home. You have found the family. I was talking last night with somebody in person, actually. So I was hanging out with a family member shortly after the lifeboat last night, and I was talking about I had just finished doing a video, and they said I watched it. So I went back to see how long New Zealand Chili had, like when he showed up, because I had the hospital and I was a little fuzzy on all of that. It's amazing, people, how fast that someone who steps onto the deck of the lifeboat just assimilates and becomes part of this family. It's something that is really, really unique. And it's going to bring me back to something that I said earlier, right? Because I think this is really important. I think that this is massively important. Buddha, thank you, brother. I'm so glad that you found this boat, and I love your family. I really do. Your grandmother and your daughter are absolutely a part of the lifeboat family. Yeah, Squirrel is telling me how worried she is about me. Squirrel is telling me that I should stop doing this and go get a retreat. Mark, good to see you this morning. Block A, I don't think I said hello to you, did I? Alf, good to see you. I'm glad I found this bunch, says Alf. Yeah, oh, you know what, peeps? So I told everybody that I'm probably going to be going live at 4:00 tonight. That may not be the truth. There could be an interview. We're going to know a little later in the day, but I'm going to post everywhere where I can post. So we'll post here on YouTube, and we'll also post over on Facebook to tell everybody whether or not it's going to be at 4 or 5. If you've never hit the bell for notification, hit the bell for notification and then hit all. And then when we go live, in theory, you will get a notification that we are going live. Now, most of you are, I didn't see the message, but full of hope, I see a message that says massive lag, very confusing. Sorry. If I was a part of that, I'm sorry too. The lag is insane. It really is. It really, really, really is. Is Monk all right? Okay, good. Monk, good to see you. 7th, good to see you. And that says 4 thumbs up, people. I found out last night that sometimes when we're looking at it, we're not seeing it and we have to refresh it. But I love the sentiment. I don't know if you've all hit the thumbs up button. Please do hit the thumbs up button. Please leave a message after the video. And thank you to all of you who are doing that. The number of people who have been on the lifeboat now a couple of years, and we haven't seen them in a year and a half, or we haven't seen them in a year or 9 months or whatever, who showed up in the last 8 days is incredible. And all of them who have reached out to me have said things like, well, you popped back up on my feed. New Zealand Chili Head, get some sleep. God bless you, brother. Much love, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully here on the boat. And remember, you got this. You got this. Uh-oh. Quiet Girl says, Tommy, I have no voice, and I started coughing last night at around 11 p.m. Then we're going to be holding off on the interview. I will be here at 4:00 tonight. Everybody hear that? 4:00 tonight. I will be going live from the deck of the lifeboat. Full of Hope says there's 31 thumbs up. Well, that's good. It's a hell of a way to start the day. Annette says, it sounds like you will be extra quiet today. Quiet Girl. Can we get some prayers again for Quiet Girl? You know what I'm praying? I'm praying that she goes to the doctor. That's what I'm praying. I think she needs to go to the doctor. One moment. Oh, so I fired off an email to a brother of mine. And basically I was, this brother of mine is philosophical as hell. Like, this is a deep thinker, right? This is one of those cats that, like, I can sit and have just ridiculous conversations with about virtually anything. But when the conversation is about sobriety, it's he's great to talk to. but you end up spending a lot less time talking and a lot more time listening, because he just has that presence. Just a very, very intelligent guy, and absolutely my family. But I fired off an email to him last night, and because he's in a federal prison. His name is Q. He's in a federal prison, and because of that, you talk about lag time. He should be getting my email probably about an hour ago, somewhere in there, maybe 2 hours ago. If he was able to fire off an email before work, which is not likely, but if he was able to fire off an email before he went to work, I'll get it tonight at about 6. And he'll get my response tomorrow at about 11 or whatever. But I fired off a email to him about just what I was talking about earlier. The great idea I had about thinking about your sobriety from the date that you first really committed to try to getting sober. All right, it wasn't my idea. But if I drip it like that for a while, right, eventually you'll think I came up with it. No, the sad thing is that people who wander onto the boat in about 4 days are going to think I came up with that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Scoob. Scoob's sinuses are hating. I cook around 4 p.m. Too hungry to socialize. I get it, Annette. I absolutely get it. Sadly, I have to go an hour early because of I have an appointment, and it's at church. I'm going to spend some time with some people at a Bible study tonight. So by 5 o'clock, I will be deep in a discussion about the other part of my family, right? The father, the father and the son part of my family. So, oh no, Scoob. People, do you see this? Scooby with the Doobie says, speaking of poop, someone keeps leaving their dog poop on our side yard. Now that's bad form. Making new friends, I really like. Well, I'm glad, Goosebump. You know what? Goosebumps is another one of those people that came on the boat, and in about 15 minutes, you couldn't remember a time when Goosebumps wasn't on the boat. And that happens with so many of you. I promise you. And if you were to ask Charlie and V and Seven Son and all of the people that have just been here forever, it's just a bizarre thing. It really is, like that fast. You start going, yeah, I honestly don't remember a time when, when this person wasn't on the boat. And I'll tell you something, truthfully, you're welcome, Goosebumps. Really glad that you're here, honestly. I think that you're just such a great addition to this family. Ba-boom, boom, booyah. Agreed. That's a great, great comment. Patrick says, 30 years in August? That's awesome. You absolute legend, right? 30 years. Scooby, your yard must feel like a safe place. Scooby, I raise Great Danes. When people have poop in my yard, I'd threaten to bring my big guys to their house to do their business, and it didn't happen again. That's funny. I'm coming over with my horse and my pachyderm. Alf says, Nancy Reagan was wrong. I tried saying no to drugs, but drugs didn't listen. I tried to say no, but drugs didn't listen. No, it was a really nice sentiment, this whole just say no thing, right? It was a very nice sentiment. And it would be great if we could do that. And you know something? There are people out there that can. We can't. And it's the think of that. Think of that as the DNA of your new family, right? That's the genetics of your new family. That's the one thing that genetically we all really do have in common, is that other people can just say no. We need to just say no, K-N-O-W. right? We need to know a better way. We need to know a new group of people. We need to know a new game plan. We need to know. Squirrel walks all over me. She really does. It's not about saying N-O. It's about saying K-N-O-W. Who do you know? What do you know? Right? Those are the things that are going to save you. Who's your family? Who do you know? And what do you know when the ship hits the sand and when you start feeling like today's the day that I don't get through it. Today's the day that I relapse. Today's the day that I stumble and fall, whatever. At that moment, the more crap you know about how to get out of that situation, the better off you are. Squirrel really did miss me. When I came in, that cat followed me around. I mean, everywhere. Last night, I went to sleep really quickly after the lifeboat. I was just absolutely worn out. And yes, she is very, very disrespectful. Monk. She doesn't care at all. But so I laid down last night to go to sleep, and Squirrel refused to not be making contact with me for the entire evening. So, I'd wake up and she'd be on my neck, or I'd wake up and she'd be, sitting on my back or my chest. And she just had to be making contact. And it was, I don't know, it was nice to be with her. I had missed her. Patrick Taylor says, and you're literally surrounded with pubs too. And you know what? And you make a really excellent point, Patrick. This is something that I think we lose sight of on the lifeboat sometimes, and it's kind of important. We are worldwide, right? If I had to guess, honestly, I would probably put us at 100 countries. No joke. We are in a crap load of countries. Just the number of people who have reached out to me and emailed me from different parts of the world that have blown my mind. My cats do that. If you leave the door open to the bedroom, they come in the morning and surround my bed. So the cultural differences between different parts of the world, right? There are places where socially, the rallying part of the entire city or the town or the community is the pub or is the bar, and it's just such an ingrained part of a society that if you're going to step away from that, you know what you need in a big way? You need a plan, yeah, and you need to choose your family really, really wisely, really, really wisely. My first dog was an Irish setter. They're a bit dumb, aren't they? Says Full of Hope. Listen, if there are any Irish setters here, I was just reading that. I'm probably going to be canceled by the Irish setter community. For real. Right now, somewhere on like Dog CNN, they're already running this clip. I'm taking all of the heat for this. Alf says, I never liked the bar scene. I drank at home. Alf, I think that's probably way more prevalent on this side of the pond than on the other. On the other, people, I've never been to Ireland. I have been to England. I've been to Australia. Been to a lot of places, but there's something really unique about different cultures in. Why, thank you, Rick. It's the dog CNN one. Yeah, thank you. I'm laughing, Rick, because I looked up and I thought it says good one, Tommy. I have no idea what he's talking about. Everyone hated my new sobriety. I used to be the life and soul of the party. I had to walk solo until Christ. I don't shove my religion down anyone's throat, and I never will. But being true to myself and all of that, I absolutely would not be here if the first member of the family that I added, if that first member of the family were not Christ, I would not be here. And I don't mean not doing the lifeboat. I mean, I wouldn't be alive at this point. And I absolutely credit that to God. That said, I hope that everybody finds their belief system. I think it's really hugely important. And if you ever feel like you're struggling with that, you know, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you about that off the air, because we are not a religious channel. I'll tell you what, though, people, we have a sister channel, and there's a really good chance that I'm going to start doing some stuff on that channel that is far more open and honest about my beliefs personally. Nobody from here ever has to go there if they don't want to, but the people that want to go absolutely will have that ability, because there are times, people, where I'd really like to come on here and just pray. No joke. You know, there are times that, because it's a very large part of my life and my sobriety, and I don't want to offend anybody on the boat. I really don't. You people are family. I'd like to believe that as a family we can have different beliefs, and we've done well with that so far. That, for that reason, I'm not going to shove this down anyone's throat, as I said. But I'm going to give people another place that they can go if they do want to see that. That's coming up. And that's coming up soon. Won't change this place at all, but it'll give for those who believe or are seeking it, will give you another avenue of content for people who are trying to stay sober and meet a family. I drank at home. I drank in bars. I drank walking down the street. Valerie was equal opportunity when it came to finding a place to drink. Q Girl says, my bar was in my basement. My dad's bar. I ran it. Oh, wow. That's hard. I still enjoy the bar scene, but now I order club soda with a skewer of whatever fruit the bartender has. Do you know what? I used to tell people that, you know, if you ever felt uncomfortable, you know, especially when you first, because not having something in your hand in that social situation, that's such a part of the ritual of drinking, that I've recommended to people often, that if you just get, you know, something in your hand, and my go-to has always been club soda with lime. And it does look like a drink, which keeps people from asking questions or making you uncomfortable, especially in the beginning. It's not an issue for me, because drinking's not, but I still don't want to get into the, you know, come on, dude, have a drink. And I go, man, you know what? I don't want to drink. You know, why? You know, let's party. That wasn't your drug. There you go. Sometimes it's just easier. Darn dog would pants me. Grab the cuff of my trousers and pull. I ended up on my bum pantless. See, that's the kind of humor I can really get with there, son. Country Cork, says Annette. What am I doing here? Full of Hope says, I love that seventh, but honestly, I can't tell a joke to save myself. She's right. No, you've made me laugh before. Big time, actually. Well, there's a lot of people here with some ties to your homeland. You know something, Tim? Tim had said you should get squirrel certified as a. I can't remember what the word was. Isn't that funny? If you knew how funny that actually is, but certified as like a support animal, and I have given that a lot of thought. I really had. I'm very sad I'm not green anymore. Well, ZW, I will. We'll have to do something about that, because you look better in green. ZW, what part of the state of Arizona are you in? North, south, middle, east, west, that kind of thing. Because I know that you live in this. I know you live in AZ. I just don't know where. I love my Irish cousins. Yes, I am shouting across the Atlantic. Why do I believe that? Emotional support kitty. See, John Doe gets it. Emotional support animal, yeah. Mascot. Yeah, Rick, that's probably more in line with what she is. Am I green? Yes, I'm green. Hold on, peeps. Sorry. Anyone near Erie, New York? They're not here now, Scoob. There is somebody on here from starts with an O, and it's near Lake Honeoye, and I can't think of the name. It starts with an O though. Long time ago, my ancestors were McDougalls. The spelling changed from Mick to Mac sometime in history. They left Scotland for Canada forever ago. Eh? Oh, would you look at that? Full of Hope just gifted 10 new lifeboat memberships. You know what, Full of Hope? You are a very, very kind woman. And this is not the kind of thing that we're keeping score or anything like that, right? But that said, I can't begin to tell you that's got to be a record for the you are now in the Lifeboat Hall of Fame as having given away more memberships than anybody. There was actually, you were probably neck and neck with another individual that has given a ton of memberships, but that definitely put you over the top. Thank you, Full of Hope, so much. Family. Sorry. That's awesome, Hope. It really is. So kind. All right, peeps. So let's just wrap this puppy up, shall we? Let's talk about what have we learned today on the Lifeboat. Well, we have learned there are an awful lot of people on the lifeboat with ancestors in Ireland. And we've learned that you can choose your family. Full of Hope is a sweetheart. Make no mistake. Full of Hope is one of the sweetest people you would ever want to meet. 99.9% of the time. And most of us can't claim that. Most of us can't claim 50% of the time. Pubs are bad. You know what, John Doe? There's something to that. But anytime I read anything where somebody puts are bad, like if it's a 3 combo, pubs are bad, okay, I find myself almost unable to not say, okay. That we need you, Tommy. Lesson learned. You're funny in that. Never give up and never back down from the fight of getting sober. Well, that's a good piece of advice right there. We learned that we got the best family a guy or gal could ever ask for. You know what? Boy, I can't do any better than that. We learned that we got the best family a guy or gal could ever ask for. And that's it, people. Going forward, this is going to be a journey that is going to require grace, a good amount of luck, patience, and support. More than anything else, support. You need 5 people at a minimum. 5 people that when you start feeling like there's a chance you're going to use, you're going to start calling those people. You're going to start texting them. You're going to start. Now, let's be really honest. If you've got one in 2023 where we all walk around with a handheld friggin' computer at all times, the odds of getting that person on the phone are really good. But if by some chance that doesn't happen, then what do? You go to number 2. The odds of not being able to get any of the 5, well, in this day and age, that's simply not possible. But I really want to hammer home how much I'm serious about this family thing. There are people on this boat that I've said it, you're probably tired of hearing it, but Alan Ballantyne is an absolute brother of mine. You know, he really is. The man is an absolute brother of mine. Buddha Davis is the adopted son I never wanted. I'm kidding. I love Buddha, but Buddha has really become like family to me, and so has his grandmother. And I could keep going on like this. The number of people on this boat that have become family is, first of all, it's shocking. And remember, says Full of Hope. Look at this. You know what? It's a good way to end. We ended with Full of Hope. I mean, we started with Full of Hope saying, "Is everybody okay?" That's how the boat started today. That was the comment that got put up. And we end with the comment that if you need help during the night, I'm 8 hours ahead. You can always reach out to me. This is the best family, especially for people trying to stay sober, anywhere you could ever hope for. Get over here. You missed your cue. Come here. I get to the end of the boat. The squirrel's not in the basket. Come here. Come here. What are you doing? She thinks she made a cameo at the beginning, and it doesn't have to work anymore. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and this, right here, this is Squirrel. I will see all of you at 4 o'clock this evening. You want to chew my thumb? No. I will see all of you at 4 o'clock East Coast time for the next lifeboat. Now, I got to go take care of all of the medical stuff that I got to do on the outside of the hospital. One of those days. God bless you all, and I'll see you on the deck of the boat. Make it a great day, people. Family.